There you go.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for that, Reverend Mel. So welcome to today's Froggy Friday, everyone. This is a sacred moment where we, as a community, gather together every 2 weeks or so and just have a moment to have this service where we remind ourselves of the truth and center ourselves in this wonderful teaching. Today, we are honored and graced by Reverend Claire, who will be giving us a talk.
No,
And
that's
it has
Reverend
a
Mel.
very,
It's me, Paul.
so, no, Reverend Mel, sorry, 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 sorry,
That's
Reverend
okay.
Mel. But we are all one. We are all one.
We're all one, yeah.
so, so, yeah, thank you. And the talk is very interesting. It looks very interesting because it's entitled A Long Way from Home. I'm really looking forward to that talk. And as we always begin, we will start with an opening. But before we do the opening, we'll do a meditation. And immediately after the meditation, we just go into an opening treatment. After the treatment, we will have our song that we normally sing. And thereafter, we maybe have the announcement, if any, and then we go into the talk. So I welcome Reverend Pat to do us the honors and do the meditation for us, and also walk us through into the opening treatment. Welcome, Reverend Pat.
Okay, so I would just like to take this moment just to invite you just to get yourself comfortable wherever you are sitting, whatever chair you're in, and just maybe ensure that your feet are solidly placed on the ground. And then just taking in a nice deep breath, just breathing in as deeply as you can and exhaling just a little bit more than you took that breath in. And do this a couple of times. And as you do that, feel yourself centered, grounded, and just letting go of any busyness or any activity that's been happening. And feel that breath moving gently into your body. And as you're exhaling, releasing any tension, releasing any thoughts, and just allowing yourself to very slowly relax. Just feeling your arms and your legs, letting go of any tension, any stress, and allowing your breath to fill every cell of your body. Just letting that gentle breathing just happen for you naturally, not forcing it, not making it happen. Just trusting and knowing that our body knows exactly the rhythm and the pace of the breath that you need. And as you're sitting with your breath, we'll enter into a moment or a few minutes of silence. And with each breath, just relaxing releasing, just allowing everything just to be so, just to be as it is. If you find your mind wandering, just come back with intention on your breath, on your breathing. Just very gently noticing your breath. Not forcing, just simply allowing. And then just staying in that space of relaxation. I invite you to listen to my word, and I invite you just to embody and embrace with all those words that resonate for you. Because what I know is that there is only one power, only one presence, only one life, only one creative intelligence. In that energy, that life, that source, which I call spirit, moves and breathes and lives and has its being through me and through each one of us. That we are an individualized form of this creative intelligence, this creative design. And it expresses uniquely through each and every one of us, through all beings, through all people, through all life, through the Center for Spiritual Living Kenya, through all those that are touched by CSL Kenya this evening, this morning, this afternoon. And we come together to know that we are home, to trust and to believe that we are always home. And I know that the words that are spoken today touch each and every one of us in a special and unique way that helps us to remember, that facilitates our memory of trusting and knowing in that one life, that one source, that one creative intelligence. And I am so grateful, grateful for this time together, grateful for this opportunity, grateful for Zoom, grateful for each and every single person that is present or that has even thought of coming here today. And with my heart full of gratitude, I simply release the word. I allow it to be so. I let it go. And so it is.
And so it is.
There is. Thank you very much, Reverend Pat. Thank you for that wonderful meditation. Thank you for that treatment that has centered us into this moment. Thank you. Once more, I welcome everyone to today's Froggy Friday. It's a moment where we purposely take time to be and to know that we are one, and we are just expressing this spirit, this God. Sometimes in our daily activities, in the many things that we do, we tend to forget, maybe going through different conditions, we sometimes tend to forget. So we have chosen this moment for us to come together and remind ourselves of this truth. So thank you very much, Reverend Pat, for that. Before we sing our song, and since Reverend Mel is the one who is going to be giving us this talk of today, I think she's not the one who's going to sing the song. Today you'll have a different voice. I'll sing. I'll not that I'll sing the song. I'll start the song and we'll all sing this song. Okay. But before before we go to that, I want to take this moment just to pass on information, maybe announcement. And I know, Reverend Claire, you definitely have something that you may want to talk about regarding the oncoming class. So over to you, Reverend Claire.
Yes. Pat and Paul and I are teaching a class, Ancient Wisdom and the Science of Mind. It's a 6-week class, starts on Thursday. And it's a fascinating look at what Ernest Holmes taught and how this compares to truths expressed in some of the cultures we don't think about too much. The Maya, the Incas, the traditional African religions, the pagans. And it's sort of a chance to see that truth is truth. And of course, Ernest Holmes drew from a lot of sources. These aren't sources he particularly drew on or was familiar with, except for Hinduism. So we're not looking to see where his thoughts may have come from so much as honoring and recognizing the truth that's everywhere and seeing how that same truth was expressed in these different cultures. So this is a required class. If you want to start the Advanced Consciousness Studies course in the fall, which is the last prerequisite for practitioner training. So if you're thinking that that's a path you want to be on, or sign up for this class and get this prerequisite out of the way. I think it'll be a fascinating class and a kind of a new perspective to look at some of the things we've talked about in other classes.
Claire, do you want to mention the prosperity group as well?
Yes, I would love to do that. And next Friday, and on the third Friday from now on, we are going to have our Prosperity My Birthright open, informal, drop in, come when you want to, don't come, group to explore abundance. and what it means in our lives, and to support each other as we work to increase our ability to accept the abundance that's all around us. We know it's there. It's not that we need more abundance. We need to learn how to bring that into our lives. And it will, as I said, when the class that, trying to think, I think Christine was in the last class we taught, which is the prosperity class. The students asked for this. Can we just have an informal, ongoing drop in? Everyone's welcome. We have had a sign up, and that's just so we can make sure you get in the group that's going to focus on that, in the WhatsApp group where we can kind of support each other, and get to know each other, because we're all on this journey together. And one of the best things about doing what we're doing is to remember we're not alone. We don't have to face this alone. And so good to have someone else knowing the truth for you, that I know you are opening yourself to abundance. You are increasing your ability to accept the good. So that's next week. The link will be sent out as always, and a reminder. And I'd love it if you'd all join us. It's going to be a great chance to support each other in that area.
And what's the date again?
It's always on the third Friday. So on the first Friday, we have visioning at this time. The second and the fourth Fridays, we always have Froggy Friday. And on the third Friday, we're going to have Prosperity My Birthright discussion group. So it's a great thing just to set this time apart. Now, this particular month of May, we have 5 Fridays, which happens a couple of times a year. So that 5th Friday, there's nothing scheduled. We have the first Friday visioning, second and fourth Froggy Friday, third Friday, Prosperity My Birthright.
And it's always at the same time.
Yes.
8
It's always at this same time, 8 p.m. Kenya time.
Okay.
Bonnie, may I ask, are you on WhatsApp?
Oh, I'm on WhatsApp. Yes, I am
Perfect.
on WhatsApp.
Okay. So if you could send me a message on WhatsApp, then I'll make sure that you get in that group. And if you know of any other people, because we do all of our communication through WhatsApp.
But I think I would need your contact information or your community name or what.
Yeah.
But you can
Okay,
put it in the chat. I don't want to take
I'll-
away from your
Okay,
time.
I'll put it in the
Yeah.
chat.
Thank you.
Reverend Trish, you have something you want to say, Dr. Trish?
We can't hear you, so I don't know if there's a problem with your audio. Because you're not muted, we just can't hear you.
See if that microphone works better.
Oh.
Yes.
Good. My computer, for whatever reason, has been defaulting to Never Never Land. It was a question of Claire. We have some students from outside Kenya that are interested in your fall course, and they have all taken roots. When you say that the new ancient wisdom is required, I believe the roots class satisfies that credit, but the question is, does it satisfy it for you folks?
Yes, it does. But we haven't offered it for quite a while, and I think we only have one student in our group who has taken it within the last 5 years, and maybe one that will count it because it's in the last 6 years. So for the majority of people, but yes, if they've taken roots, they don't need to take this class as a requirement. Thanks for clarifying that.
I have definitely pushed on them to take the course with you guys this summer, but they will have, or I think all of them have taken roots. But that's an offline discussion.
Yeah.
And it is a very different emphasis. The Roots class
Oh,
is about
yes.
the sources that Ernest Holmes read and studied and sought to draw out what he called the golden threads of truth. What was the same in all of these places he was teaching and learning and studying? And he realized that's the truth showing up. And so we're going to look at some places that he wasn't aware of when he was studying. He didn't know about African traditional religions or the cultures of South America. A lot of that wasn't available. So it's interesting to look at it from that new perspective. And of course, you know, Africa's a huge continent with many countries, and this class will just kind of scratch the surface. But I'm hoping for those who take it, will just trigger your curiosity to see, like, oh, forever people have been trying to answer these deep questions, like, where did I come from? How did the world come to be? What am I meant to do? How do I have a good life? What does that mean? And it's interesting to look at how mystics and leaders and people of thinking deeply have answered these questions throughout history. So it's going to be a very interesting class and also add depth to, you know, our ongoing quest to understand what Ernest Holmes was teaching.
Oh, yes. Truth is truth. And it didn't have, New Thought does not have a corner on the market. Uh, Truth has come through all different lineages, and that's one of the reasons I love to teach comparative religions is that correlation. And so I know you're going to have a delightful time. And I have encouraged some of the other students, whether they're interested in moving on to practitioner or not, that they ought to dive in with you guys. So that's what we're working on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Trish and Reverend Claire. Thank you for that clarification. Reverend Pat, did you have something else you wanted to make announcement on? Okay, and I don't know whether Anastasia is in, because I would want her maybe to say something with regard to the community gathering. Anastasia, if you are in, you can unmute and give us a brief on the community gathering. Thank you.
Good morning, good evening, everyone. I'm the Zoom user. So, yeah, thank you for the opportunity, and it's good to be here. So we will be having the community gathering on the third Saturday of this month. We've not yet settled on the location and the topic, but I think that will be posted in the group once we discuss as the community servers. Then we'll let the team know when we'll meet and where. I think that is the announcement I have on the community gathering. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anastasia. We'll be looking out to see the ad so that we can know where the location will be. Okay, now, Reverend Pat, please could you put in the slide for the song? And all of you brace yourselves now for this song, our anthem. My throat now. Okay. I'll start it, but we will sing it together. And after this, no talk, no discussion about how Paul sang or didn't sing. Okay, so let's start. We are
We are
one
one people One strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one.
We are one people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us in that song. And it's true, we are one people. It's just that we speak in the different voices and in different tongues, but we are one. So join me in welcoming Reverend Mel to give us this talk. Most of us already know who Reverend Mel is, Melody. She is one of the board members and is also a fundamental member in this community. She's been with us since we started, and she's a representation of this community. Reverend Mel, karibu sana, welcome. How do you say welcome in French? Bienvenue, karibu sana.
Bienvenue. Oui. Thank you, Asante Sana. I really appreciate the introduction because not everybody here knows me, but most of you do. So I am really grateful to be here today, and part of it is because the Kenyan community really feels like home to me. Now, I gave a talk many years ago called A Journey Home, where I spoke about my move from England to Canada and how that outer journey reflected an inner one, a spiritual journey of discovering who I am. And I said then that home is not just a place. Home is a state of consciousness, a mental atmosphere, a feeling. And I also recognize that for many of us, home means many things. It can be a house, yes, but it can also be a village, a family, a community, a place where your people are, a place where you belong. And apparently I'm not done talking about home because lately a new question has been showing up for me. What happens when we feel a long way from home? Partly this came up for me because I am in the process of helping my mother move from England to Canada, and soon there will be no longer a home there for me to return to. And partly because the world is changing so quickly that the feeling of home has become even more important to me. Where can I relax, let go, and just be me? Where do I feel at home? That feeling is sacred. And I think we all know what it feels like when that is missing. Whether we've moved across countries or from a village to a city or simply from one stage of life to another, we've all had moments where we feel out of place. You can be surrounded by people and still feel alone. You can be in a familiar place and feel completely out of place. And you can even be in your own home and not feel at home. So what is that? What creates that sense of distance? Because if home is a feeling, then being a long way from home must also be a feeling. Sometimes it comes from being in an unsafe place or with unsafe people. And sometimes it comes from something within us, a disconnect from who we are. In my earlier talk, I spoke about how each home I lived in reflected my mental atmosphere at the time. My childhood home in England was a place of curiosity, learning, and questioning. My early years in Canada were a mix of freedom and, let's be honest, a lot of chaos. I lived in a town called Penticton, and there I revealed my beliefs about relationships very clearly, and not always in a way that I enjoyed. Let's call that an ad go, another darn growth opportunity. In other words, Life teaching me a lesson the hard way. Don't know if I'm alone in that. But what grew from that was understanding. Wherever I went, there I was. I could move countries, change houses, reinvent myself, but I still brought my mental atmosphere with me. So if I felt a long way from home, it wasn't about geography. It was about consciousness. And I think that's something many of us are still learning. Because we live in a world that tells us if you just find the right place, you'll be happy. If you just find the right people, you'll belong. If you fix the outside, the inside will follow. But our teaching reminds us it works the other way round. Home is not something we find. Home is something we create. It is always about consciousness first, as Dr. Holmes talked about. Recently, I watched the movie Project Hail Mary, where a man wakes up alone in space, about as far from home as you can get. And at the same time, we were watching real-life space exploration, sending humans further than we've gone before with Artemis 2. And it got me wondering, what does home mean when you are floating in the vastness of space? Astronauts talk about something called the overview effect. When they look back at Earth, they don't see borders or divisions. They see one interconnected, fragile, beautiful home. And I thought, maybe we don't have to go to space to remember that. Maybe we just have to come back to ourselves. Because yes, this planet is our home. And yet, how often do we feel disconnected from it, from each other, and even from ourselves? With all those rapid changes happening in our world, it can feel like everything is shifting. And maybe it is. Maybe this is part of our evolution. This thinking reminds me of a book I read years ago, Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke. In that story, humanity goes through a profound transformation. At first, everything looks like progress, but underneath, something deeper is happening. Humanity is being invited to evolve beyond its sense of separation. And what emerged was not a collection of individuals, but a unified consciousness, something connected, something whole, what we might call oneness. Now, it's a dramatic story, and I'm not suggesting we're all about to dissolve into a cosmic group mind. But what struck me is this: we are not meant to live in separation. Something within us is always calling us back, back to connection, to unity, and to wholeness. And I believe that what many of us are seeking, that feeling of being connected, of belonging, of being at home. And that is one reason why many of us have a spiritual community. There is an African proverb that says, "A person is a person because of other people." And I love that because it reminds us that we don't exist in isolation. We come into ourselves through relationship, through community, through connection. Home is not just within us, it is also between us, uniting us. And when I think about that, alongside the astronauts seeing one Earth, one home, I wonder, what if the journey home is not about going somewhere else? What if it's about growing into a deeper awareness of our connection with everything and everyone? Because when we forget that connection, when we get caught in division, judgment, isolation, that's when we feel like we're a long way from home. But when we come back to compassion, to understanding, to something that looks a lot like love, we begin to remember not just who we are as individuals, but who we are as part of something greater. And maybe that is what coming home really means. I know this feeling personally. You may you may not know this, but I am neurodivergent, which means sometimes I don't always read social cues the way others do. And sometimes I say the wrong thing, put my foot in my mouth. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who's done that, but it is something that I do. But maybe not in the same way. I think we've all had moments where we feel like we don't quite fit, like we've said the wrong thing, like we don't belong. And in those moments, it can feel like we're a long way from home. But what I have experienced and what I am deeply grateful for is community. Friends, family, all of my spiritual community, people who meet with me, and then they meet with me with understanding, people who see my heart, even when my words aren't perfect, people who offer grace. And in that grace, I come home again. That has taught me something important. If I want to feel at home, and if I want others to feel at home around me, then I must be willing to create that space, not by being perfect, but by being present, not by getting everything right, but by being kind. Because home is not perfection, home is acceptance. I have spoken before, but maybe not in a Kenya talk, about finding home in Al-Anon, which is a 12-step group for those who are not familiar with it, for people who have a loved one who has a problem with alcohol. In that group, I experienced for the first time unconditional love, where I could be myself, make mistakes and grow, learn to set boundaries and love myself. That was one of the first places outside of a physical home that truly felt like home. And then I found this teaching, this philosophy, this spiritual family. This is my spiritual home, not because of a building, but because of consciousness. Because here I am reminded who I am, and I am supported in becoming more of that. And I hope you feel that way too. I also do have my physical home, my house. Her name is Harriet. That is a story for another day. She is an eclectic mishmash of color and decoration with no one style, just a conglomeration of stuff that I like, which, if you know me and have heard my previous talks, you'll know is a perfect reflection of my mind. But increasingly, I am realizing this: home is not something I return to. Home is something I bring with me. It is the peace I cultivate within myself. It is the compassion I extend to others. It's the willingness to say, you belong here. Yes, you and you and you. But more and more, I'm realizing this. Home is not something I return to. Home is something I bring with me. You belong here. And what if we all practice this? What if instead of waiting to feel at home, we became people who create home wherever we go? At home, at work, in community, in everyday moments. Imagine walking into a room and instead of asking, do I belong here? You silently affirm to yourself, I bring belonging with me. Imagine meeting someone and instead of wondering if they will accept you, you choose to accept them first. This is how we shorten the distance. This is how we come home, because in truth, we are not separate. We are expressions of one life, one presence, one human family, and more. So even when we feel lost, even when we feel disconnected, even when we feel like we've wandered far away, we are not a long way from home. We are simply being invited to remember, to come back to that inner place of peace, that inner place of truth, that inner place of belonging. So today I invite you to reflect, where do you feel at home? Where are your safe spaces? When do you feel most like yourself? And how can you bring that feeling into more of your life? Because home is not behind you. It is not somewhere you have to get to. Home is within you, and it is available right here, right now. So I'm going to end with these words of blessing. May you walk in peace. May you know that you belong. May your heart feel at home wherever you are. May you be surrounded by community, people who see you, people who support you, who walk beside you. May you carry kindness with you, and may you meet kindness along your path. And may you always remember you are never alone. Namaste. Thank you. Asante Sana.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm tempted to reward your, like, put it in another way, your talk. You see, the talk was a long way from home, but like in the conclusion, I concluded this is a very short distance from home. We are very short distance away from home. Thank you very much for that talk.
Well, look at us. I'm in Canada, you're in Kenya, people are in the States, and yet here we are all together.
Very true. Thank you for reminding us that. Okay, so now I open up the floor. I open up the floor for any reactions, any comments on that wonderful talk from Reverend Mel. The floor is open.
Thank you, Reverend Mel. That was very powerful, like very powerful. I've learned so much and I'm carrying so much at home. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Gonzalez, and I so relate it to your message. I live down in Mexico, but I've gone from California to Europe to Mexico in the last 6 years, and I always feel I never feel like I'm not at home because I'm with me, and there's that old expression that home is where the heart is. And my heart is with it's with myself. But I would say this is the only time that I could say there's a far distance. I never feel like I'm far. I do miss some familiarity of some places. And like I'm really the Bay Area, except California Bay Area is truly my home. And I miss that a lot. But I miss the familiarity of that because I still maintain relationships with my friends in the area. But sometimes I just want to go to that burrito shop down there in the Mission District that I loved. And gosh, I'd love to go for a bagel at Noah's Bagels. We don't have bagels here. They have bagels, but it's not. So that's what I would say. That's the only time that I feel a little like, wow, I wish I could just, drive to that place or drive quickly to see my friends. But otherwise, I'm really, really content with me because my heart is in my home. My home, my heart. So I just thank you for that.
Thank you.
And kind of coattailing on what Bonnie was just saying, I'm one of those that didn't have the opportunity to have, quote, roots in a location. And so I've always been fascinated by people who go home because I don't have that sense. Instead, home is where I am. And one of the fun things about that is sometimes I'll be in a place that I've never been before, and I'll have a strong sense of familiarity. And I
Yeah.
had, it's on an intuitive level instead. And so although I'm puzzled and in a way envious of those who go home, I am so grateful that my home is where my peeps are. and my peeps are all over the planet. So.
Yes. I appreciate that, Dr. Trish. Thank you.
I'd just like to add one more thing. There was this old joke. I don't know if it's a joke, but anyway, it says, home is wherever your mother lives. And it sounds like you're taking your mother with you. So you'll be at home every day. So cute.
Yes. It's a process. Thank you.
Thank you. That talk was really wonderful. And I like that element that you say that it's like we feel we are not at home when we are disconnected from whom we are. It's when we are disconnected from whom we are, because essentially we are one. So the moment we start feeling that we are not one, it's when that sense of not being at home comes in. Thank you very much, Reverend Mel. I appreciate that.
Dante.
I also wanted to thank you very much. I also want to take this chance to, for those who may be new or those who may have forgotten, we normally have a few moments also where we invite anybody who may want treatment, and we have separate rooms where if you require treatment, you can have a one-on-one with one of our practitioners, and we have many of them. I can see them here. So if you would want treatment, please, you can raise your hand, and Reverend Pat can organize for a separate room with a practitioner. If there is anybody who needs or requires treatment, please, you can let us know. You can let me know so that I can ask Reverend Pat to organize a room with one of the practitioners. Bonnie, are you saying something? Are you saying something, Bonnie?
I was just a little puzzled. You were saying that people could get treatment on the call or after the call. I wasn't quite clear.
Yeah, after we do the final closing treatment, we will organize for a room. Yes, one-on-one. You can have a treatment with one of the practitioners. Yes.
I see. Okay. I'll give it a try.
Thank you. Okay. So I'll ask Cleveland Pat to have a room with one of the practitioners, and you'll be in that room after we've done the closing treatment. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating. That was very good. That was very uplifting, and I've really felt at home. Okay. By the way, today, and that talk of yours was really appropriate, Reverend Mel, because today I was reading something that was saying something to the effect that these borders that we normally have, these Kenya, US, Canada, all those are just borders to curtail people from moving. But everything else has no borders. The birds have no borders. Okay, the animals have no borders. Actually, even the internet has no borders. Currency has no borders. You can send money to Kenya. You can send money. You see, so it's only something that is politically made just to, limit us. So it's us not to fall into that, trap of thinking that we are separate. We are one. Thank you very much. Okay. So, Christine, please, can you do us the honors of giving us a final treatment? Unless somebody has something else you want to add.
No. Hi, Christine. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Thank you. Okay, I invite you all to join me as I recognize this moment of now where we remember that home is not a place, but it is in our hearts. I give gratitude for this moment of now, knowing that it has been a great moment where we meet as CSL Kenya to remember this day, to remember that in the Froggy Friday, it is where we realize the full realization of God. I give gratitude even because of this moment where we have all met here today to remind ourselves about this journey, about this place, about this teaching, and about each and everything as we unfold ourselves into the highest consciousness. As CSL Kenya, Froggy Friday, today I want to honor the teachers, the mentors, the students, and the journey of walking toward these teachings of Honest Home. I give gratitude even because of our Reverend Melody today, who has given us such memorable topic that you will remember, that home. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing. And I'm so grateful even because of the internet that has allowed us to be stable and to be able to join this meeting. I give gratitude even because of the light, the power, and everything. I'm just grateful for each and every one of us, every student, every teacher, and everyone. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful because of the week ahead. I'm grateful because of the month ahead, of every classes and every teacher and every student who is holding the classes. I'm just so grateful for CSL Kenya, the way we have grown, the way we are unfolding, the way we have grown even in our consciousness. I'm just so grateful for this teaching. I'm so grateful for this space. And today, I release my word to the law of mind, knowing that it is already done in the mind of God. And together we say, and so it is.
And so
And
it
And
is.
so it is.
It is.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you, everyone. And have a
Thank
good
you,
time.
Paul. Thank you,
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Christine. Thanks, Reverend Mel. It was wonderful.
Thank
thank
you.
you, everyone.
Beautiful.
Love and hugs. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.
So, Reverend Pat, you can organize the room for Bonnie.
Would you like to be in the room with her, Paul? It looks
Yeah.
like it's you. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Just give me 1 second here. There's a message will come up for a breakout room.
Okay, yeah, I know how that works.
Okay. And you'll get to experience Paul in all his glory.
And Paula gets to experience Bonnie in all of her glory. So
Exactly. There
it's
you
an
go.
equal opportunity.
Okay, there you go.
And we'll be at home.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Bye now.
Okay.
I think you can turn off the recording now.
Thank you.